Let's turn now to a major shakeup in the world of sports. So earlier today, the FBI announced charges against Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier in connection to separate but related gambling charges. Also charged today, former Cleveland Cavalier guard Damon Jones. We heard from FBI Director Kash Patel during a news conference about this investigation. Here's what he was able to tell us.
This is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling.
Well, just moments ago, the NBA released this statement on the future of Billups and Rozier. It reads, quote, "We are in the process of reviewing the federal indictments announced today. Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are being placed on immediate leave from their teams. Will continue to cooperate, they say, with the relevant authorities." They went on to say, "We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and the integrity of our game remains top priority." So CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane with us now for more on this. Scott, there were a plethora of details in that indictment, almost reading like a movie script. What does that tell you about the depth of the investigation done by the FBI?
Reed, these are just remarkable cases. These are captivating allegations. Two different types of schemes alleged here involving dozens of people, including the names you just referenced. And let me tell you, Chauncey Billups may not be a household name, but if you watch the NBA over a period of time, that's a household name. That is an iconic figure in the National Basketball Association, and he actually comes up in both of the two cases. Let me start with the basketball case. They are alleging at the FBI and the Department of Justice that some figures in the NBA were selling or sharing information with gamblers, known gamblers or gambler conduits, about what was going to happen that night, who was going to be on the court, who wasn't going to be on the court, and that the gamblers were capitalizing on this to the tune of millions of dollars, and that there was a scheme to capitalize on that inside information, unlawful as it may be, that enriched some people, that people who were sharing the information from courtside were part of the scheme, according to the feds. In another case, in the basketball case, Reed, one of the players is accused to have been in on this. That's Terry Rozier, a particularly successful player for the Miami Heat. They're alleging in this charging document that he did a version of taking a dive, knew that he was going to check himself out by surprise early in the game, shared that information with gamblers who bet that Rozier was not going to have a good night that night scoring, and capitalized. This scheme allegedly goes on and on. It's widespread. It involves basketball. Let me take it to the second case. This one involves illegal poker, and there are several things that are fascinating here, including types of technology that even card players may not know existed. They're alleging that Chauncey Billups was a known part of a scheme to lure in victims to the poker table, to gamble, to spend their money on unlawful poker, and that the scheme used some type of trick card shufflers to relay information about which card was sitting where, that there was a communication system to somebody outside to relay who had the best hands, and that somebody at the table would quarterback this and signal to others so that the victims would lose money and the schemers would make money. Reed, they also allege in that case that Chauncey Billups was the famous face to lure the players to the table and was a known commodity to this scheme. It's just fascinating, and it is serious.
Billups, you know, Hall of Famer. As of last year, Rozier and he have been arrested. At least one of them will make their first court appearance, we understand. What can you tell us about what you expect in court today?
Oh, they're about to enter the long, heavy slog of the federal criminal justice system. When the feds charge you, you are going to rack up millions of dollars or something close in legal bills. You are going to spend many months waiting for your hearings. This is a long, painfully long, some would argue, criminal justice system. We have a long slog ahead. Will other names be added to these cases? That is possible. There are references to anonymous co-conspirators in these cases. And one nugget I spotted in the basketball case, when they're alleging how they executed these schemes, Reed, they reference that there were some other players who may have been relaying information about who was likely to take the court that night, or other people associated with the teams alleging who was going to take the court that night to the gamblers, to the accused schemers. That means that the possibility we learn more names and more players in the NBA that are household names before this is all done, whether they're charged or not.
Fascinating story. One thing I will bet on, there'll be a movie about this within 5 to 10 years. Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much for that.